Hey guys, we must stop meeting like this, honestly. This is becoming too much of a regular occurrence. And I can't, my old body can't take all of this. Oh, what next? What fresh hell is this? What fresh hell is this? Yeah, so I just had to come live to share my thoughts before the internet goes crazy. I know there's some talk on Twitter already, but before literally everybody who's been covering the Kiely Rodni case goes live, I wanted to just give you my thoughts before I'm swayed by anyone else. So that's why I'm here. So I'm not going to stay on long because I know a lot of people are going to go live. So you'll have plenty to occupy yourselves. I'm literally just going to tell you what I think and leave it at that for today, and then maybe I'll expand on it tomorrow. So yeah, for you guys just coming in, what's going on now? well, what's going on now? You are perfectly correct, 100% correct, unruffled. I just watched finished watching it at 10 to 6. It's 6:15 my time. Adventures with Purpose have released for members their detailed video of how they found Kiely Rodni. And it's shocking. It's shocking. There's a few things that I think I was like, what? What fresh hell is this? And I literally just wrote in my Facebook group just now, like, what fresh hell is this? I've got to go live. I'm going live. Give me 15 minutes. So yeah, it's out for members. It's out for regular viewers to everyone on the 2nd. So I feel a bit shady, really, giving you a load of spoilers, but you're choosing to be here. So, I'll say before I start, if you're not a member or you are a member and you haven't seen it yet and you don't want spoilers, then click out now. Give you the opportunity to click out now. But if you want to just sit and listen to me and what I think about it before you've seen it, then stick around. No, I didn't. So before, just let people a chance to get in before I start. And to people who are catching up and are just going to oh, I haven't seen this video yet, I'll click out. Giving you a chance, right? Give you a couple minutes to make your decision. And I'll just respond to this. So in my video this morning, I didn't do my usual opening. Did you see? I mixed it up. I didn't go, hi everyone, my name is Michelle. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another video. It's Wednesday morning. I didn't do that this morning. I started with a pan in the sky. I've been painting, so yeah, my hands are filthy. Yeah, helicopter. No, I didn't. But there's been lots of speculations. I'm a member of a number of local Facebook groups. You know what it's like. But somebody usefully put the flight path up. And it was a police helicopter. Thank you for becoming a member, whoever that was. Donna, thank you so much. Oh, a lot of people coming in now. That's good. So it was a police helicopter, and it was the railway track comes through my village. So it goes north to south, right down the country. It's called the West Coast Main Line. It goes all down the west of the country. Thank you for becoming a member, Angel. Very kind of you. And it kind of goes 200 miles one way, you're into Edinburgh and Glasgow, 200 miles the other way, it's in London. So it's straight up and down the country. So the flight path of this police helicopter was following the trajectory of the railway track So it was like doing loops around my village and then moving a little bit north, and you could just about make it out doing loops. And by the flight path, it was doing loops all the way up to a town called Leyland, which is about 10 miles from me. And then it was coming back. And apparently it's been going all through the night. Well, I haven't heard it, but apparently it's been going all through the night. So I have no idea. But there's been speculation that it's an escaped convict, because there's 3 prisons within about 15 miles of me. There's one in Preston, and then there's 2 out in the sticks in a village called Walton. There's 2 there, and they might as well, those 2 prisons, they might as well not bother having walls, because prisoners are always escaping. I used to live right near there. They were always escaping. We were always told, like, check your sheds, check your outbuildings, you know, don't leave your doors unlocked. There's another prisoner escaped. They're always escaping. So somebody speculated that it's an escaped convict with a shotgun. So I don't know whether that's true. There's nothing in the local news as of yet. So if it's an escaped convict with a shotgun, then, you know, yeah, whoever. Yeah, they're always escaping, always. I used to live like 2 miles away. No, my doors are not locked, Mississippi girl. My back door's wide open, and it'll probably be open all night because I fall asleep with it open, wide open. Yeah. Yeah, me a true crime YouTuber, and I'm the most useless person going for personal safety. Anyway, so that's what's going on. We don't know, but just for those coming in, yeah, Leyland Prison. Yeah, it's not in Leyland. It's in a village just outside of Leyland called Walton. There's 2. There's Wymont, which is, I never remember which way around it is. There's Wymont and Garth. One of them's the maximum security, where there's like sex offenders and murderers and that. They don't tend to get out of there, although it has happened. But the other one is a lower security one, like for, you know, people who don't pay fines and things like that. They're always getting out. They shouldn't have built a wall. They didn't need to build a wall. They just hop over it. Anyway, over to Kiely Rodni. So for those of you just coming in, Adventures with Purpose released to its members, the video of how they found Kiely. It's not out to the general public until the 2nd. So members have obviously got it 2 days early. So I joined the membership, so I've seen it. And I wanted to come live just to share my thoughts. And I personally was shocked. Now, if you are, it's the members one. It's the long one. It's not the trailer, not the 2-minute trailer. It's the long one. So the long one's out for members. It's about 40 something minutes long, 50 minutes long, something like that. So it's it's a documentary style production. Yeah, so it's shocking. So I thought, well, a few days ago I did the case against foul play, because when I found out where Kiely's car was found and how close to the shoreline it was and exactly where it was found, I thought this could so easily be an accident, not ruling out foul play, but it could just so easily be an accident. Yes, I did. That's what I'm going to talk about. If you don't want to hear, if you haven't seen it, or you want to wait till it comes out and you don't want to hear any spoilers, then click out now. This is your last chance. Click out now, right? So it starts off where they checked Boca Lake, which is a few miles north of Prosser Reservoir. And they checked that for a very specific reason, because they got some information from one of their viewers, one of their fans, approached them and said that he works on call outs. So, like, you know, if your car breaks down, he's one of the guys that goes and, you know, he works for a company that does the call outs. So he got a call, his company, right, got a call from Kiely. That her car wouldn't start. And he was dispatched to an area just off Boca Lake, like one of the kind of roadways leading to that lake. And she was with a guy. She was with a guy, but this man, I think his name was Nick, if I remember rightly. Correct me if you've seen it. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Where I'll get there. Honestly, I'll get there. So we'll call him Nick. I can't remember his name because I was just like, whoa, what on earth is this? What fresh hell is this? Yes, a guy, Jen. She was with a guy. So her and this guy were there. Now, according to Nick, this man, this car-like man, this repairman, mechanic person, it was a very unusual call-out, because she started asking questions like, how do I fasten my seatbelt? So he showed her, you know, seatbelt. It's a normal seatbelt. You clip it in. So clip it in. So there was a pan to the seatbelt. You know, it's just a regular seatbelt. Clip it in. So he showed her how to clip herself into the seatbelt. And a car wouldn't start because it was in neutral. So there was nothing wrong with the car. From what I can make out, there was nothing actually wrong with the car. But yet they'd had this call out. But it wasn't from Kylie's phone. He said it was definitely Kiely, definitely her car, but it wasn't her phone. Her phone was dead and she was calling from this guy's phone. Right? So the guys from Adventures with Purpose, Doug and Nick, and then there was someone obviously off camera that this guy was talking to, were asking him questions. And they said, well, did she seem high? Did she seem drunk? Did she seem upset? He said she was maybe hungover, but not high, maybe hungover. I'll get there, Kelly. I'll get there. When was this? And he said, oh, it was about 11 a.m. 11 a.m. or thereabouts. He couldn't be precise, but it was in the morning, anywhere between 11 a.m. and midday. In the morning. And she seemed hungover, but she seemed uncomfortable with this guy. He was like on one side of the car, she was on the other side of the car, and when he came round, she would move. So weird dynamic going on. But this guy is there to repair a car that won't start. He's shown her how to get the car out of neutral, and the car works perfectly well. So was this a cry for help? Was this her pretending the car was broken? We can only speculate. We don't know. But they said, okay, so what day was this? So we know it was in the morning. What day was it? Now, this is where I started to get a bit like, okay, this story is very weird. This story's strange, because he couldn't remember what day it was. Now, he said he works the trucky areas at weekends, but that particular weekend, he also worked the Friday. So he said it could have been Friday morning, Saturday morning, or Sunday morning, right? And they said, well, can you be more specific? Could you guess? What's your best guess? And he said, well, I've checked my GPS. He said, I didn't realize for a week that she was missing. And he said, I just happened to see a flyer and thought, oh my God, that's that. I went to that call out, and that was at Boca Lake. Yeah, in the day, Jen. Yeah. 11 a.m., 11 o'clock or thereabouts in the morning, right? So obviously he called it into the cops, right? You know, and yeah, you're absolutely right. There's a call log. You're absolutely right. But that would be dispatch. He said it will be my dispatch. He said, I don't get the call logs. I get dispatched. So he doesn't get a call directly to his phone. It's dispatch. It's his company. And then his company just dispatches him to a location. So all he can do is check his GPS. So he's checked his GPS logs, and he was at Boca, in the Boca area, on both Saturday and Sunday. So we're kind of now ruling out Friday. Now, Friday was the 5th. Let me just double check. Because all days feel alike to me. Right, so Friday would have been the 5th. That was the day of the party. And then the Saturday was the 6th. And remember that Kylie's phone went dead at Prosser at 12:33 a.m. So if what this repairman is saying is true, Kiely was alive on the Saturday morning and not at Prosser. She was at Boca, which is a few miles north. Map time. Yes, I do mean maps. I spelled map wrong. Oh, my word. Okay. I know this area way too well for somebody who's never even been to America. Okay, just let me share my screen here. Oh, yeah. All right, so here's Prosser. Here's the lake. This is where Kylie's car was found, thereabouts. Boca Lake is here. So not far at all. Not far at all. So if we do Boca Campground Reservoir. So 14 miles. So 14 miles away. It looks very close, but obviously, you know, you've got to go by the road. If you walked it, you know, it's like it's a straight line, but and I can't remember it. Like they got him to point out exactly where it was, and he was able to drop a pin where he saw Kiely, where Kylie's car was parked. Chris, hold on a minute. Because her phone was dead, Chris. So her phone had already gone dead. She was using this guy's phone that she was with to make the call to dispatch to the repair company because the car had broken down. So it's very odd. Now he said that he had cameras in his vehicle. Her car. Because he only realized a week a week later when he saw a flyer that he recognized Kiely and he recognized her car. And was like, oh my word, I went to that call out. That girl was alive on the Saturday or whenever morning. And that's when he checked his GPS to find out when he went there. And he couldn't pin it down. He couldn't remember whether it was the Saturday or the Sunday, because he went to Boca on both days. So she was alive either on the Saturday morning or the Sunday morning, according to this guy. Now, we've got to temper this, haven't we? We've got to think critically about this. We've got to temper this, that this guy might have been lying, because people do. Thank you so much, Esme. $49.99. Thank you so much. Very, very generous. You're very welcome. I know. People lie, right? They want to, if he's a fan of Adventures with Purpose and he wants to get on the show, and he could have made up a story, and the cops checked it out, and it would be easy for the cops to verify this story, right? Very easy, because Dispatch will have an exact call log. They'll have the number that it came from. Now, presumably, if this is nefarious and this guy did prey on Kiely, he'll have ditched that phone, right? He'll have ditched that phone. So it'd be very easy to check this story out, right? Through the dispatch of the company, the call logs. Do the dash cams record? If so, how much footage do they record, or does it just record over? If he was doing call outs all weekend, maybe they don't even download the footage. It would only be if there was an altercation, or they don't download all the footage. I don't know, right? But it's very, very, very interesting. So we've got this possibility that that this guy just wanted to get on Adventures with Purpose. He's lied, and the cops have checked it out, and there's nothing to it, right? Maybe he went to a call at Boca. Maybe it wasn't Kiely's car. So there's all sorts of things. But he said he's convinced it was Kiely's car. Now, they'd know, also the company would know, wouldn't they ask the license plate? They'd have some kind of record, right? You would think. But when Adventures with Purpose went on Court TV, and said that there was heavy stuff to come out. There's heavy stuff to come out. We don't know. Hold on, I just saw. Should have put this on slow mode. No, we don't know. We don't know anything about what the police has found, or what investigation the police are doing or have done. All I'm saying is it will be easy for the cops to verify that guy's story. It will be easy for them to verify whether he's either lying or he's mistaken. That yes, he did go to Boca, but he didn't possibly. There wasn't a record of the type of car Kiely has being called out, right? Whether there's dash cam footage that they can pull that I don't know. But in my mind, right? So the police have not told us anything. They've told us nothing. So we're only speculating at the moment based on what this guy has said to Adventures with Purpose. That's all. That's all we're doing. So if he's not lying, he could be mistaken. If he's not mistaken and he's not lying, then he saw Kiely. He saw Kiely around 11 a.m. on either Saturday the 6th or Sunday the 7th. So to recap before I move on to the next part that shocked me, for people who've just come in, this was a fan of Adventures with Purpose that when they were there looking for Kiely, approached them and said he had some information. And he agreed to an interview on camera. Thank you, Samara, for the, what's that, $2 Australian. Thank you. He agreed to an interview on camera. He said he was called out. He works for a company that does car repairs. He was called out to a car that he now knows to be Kiely's on either Saturday or Sunday. So Saturday, August the 6th or Sunday, August the 7th. He doesn't know which day because he went to Boca on both of those. He doesn't have a call from her. It's done through his dispatch, but his dispatch will have that information. And it wasn't Kiely's phone that rang, although Kiely was there and Kiely did the speaking. It wasn't Kiely's phone. She said her phone was dead. And she was with a guy. Now, the guy, he gave a description of the guy. He said he was tall, young. I can't remember the description, but he did give a rough description of the guy. Very generic description. I can't obviously play it because quite rightly Adventures with Purpose would copyright strike the hell out of me because this is a members only video, and quite rightly they've got the rights to play it just to their members until they choose to release it to the public, and they are going to release it to the public so everybody will be able to watch it on September the 2nd. So you've only got 2 days to wait. If you're not a member of Adventures with Purpose, then you can watch this all yourself on the 2nd of September, 2 days' time. Kiely was uncomfortable with this guy, according to the repairman, that every time he moved around towards her, she moved away, and they were like, moving around. So clearly uncomfortable and perhaps hungover, he said. But otherwise, she was okay. She didn't say she needed help, but the call out was very strange because there was not actually anything wrong with the car. It was just in neutral. So the reason why it wouldn't start is that it wasn't in gear, right? And she asked him how to put her seatbelt on. How could she fasten her seatbelt? So either genuinely her brain was fried, or she was giving really weird responses in hope that it would trigger something in him to say, "Are you all right? Let me take you somewhere." I don't know. Obviously, difficult to tell. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. But that was right at the beginning of the show. So they checked Boca Lake because that was the last sighting, right? Now we know if this guy is telling the truth, that is the last sighting. Sammy was dead wrong. I said the other day, before she was found, I said, I bet she left with a guy. Sammy left with a guy and she left with a guy. Now I'm thinking maybe your first response, Michelle, was right. That she did leave with a guy and something bad happened. But we don't know. We obviously don't know anything. I'm only reciting what was said in this video. Anyway, so they cleared Boca. Obviously, she wasn't there. They cleared Donna Lake. She wasn't there. So then they went to Prosser. And as we all know, she was there. And so there's a few details that we've all been speculating on that we can now talk about, because we've all been thinking, well, she was in the back, you know, the window was broken. Did that break as part of the recovery process? Was that back window a little bit open or not? So we've got some details now. So the broken front window was broken when Nick the diver went down. So it was not broken during the recovery process. It was broken already. But the car was upside down, but it was to one side a little bit. So I'm wondering whether it's broken out as a result of kind of tipping. I don't know. And the back, one of the back rear windows was down, but like half down. And Kiely was in the back. No seatbelt, she was in the back. What else? What else can I tell you? Excuse me. They believe it's suspicious. They believe that that there's foul play, but obviously that's just their opinion. And no, in the back. So not in the, not, I don't know what I mean by cargo area. So we call it a boot in the back, So they didn't specify whether it was in the back passenger seat, like the back seat, or whether there's an area behind that that's open. So I don't know, but we call it a boot. Whether it's an open boot or whether it's a closed boot, we still call it a boot. But she could be seen through the window, so it wasn't like she was hidden in a boot, right? She was in the, she could be seen. Like, look, he looked through the window and saw her. He didn't have to open anything or interfere with anything. He just looked through the window and she was there. Okay. Did she go? Oops, sorry, wrong one. Did she go to an air pocket? I would imagine so. You guys call it a trunk. Yeah, you do. But is a trunk a closed trunk? If so, no. She wasn't in a closed trunk. She was in the back. He could see her in the back with no seatbelt on. So we got clear visibility of her. Thank you, CR, for the $5. What about the strange message he got on his phone? Who? Strange message who got on his phone? From the group. Yeah. I'll talk about that in a minute. So no, people who've been speculating that she was shoved in a trunk and all this nonsense. No, she wasn't. She could be clearly seen. Obviously, they blurred it out. They didn't show her. They blurred it out, but Nick could see her. So yeah, she was there. We don't know that. We don't know that, whether there's an open cargo area or whether she was, don't know, can't say that. All I can say is she could be seen through the window. She could be seen through the window. Now it could be it could be perfectly plausible that if she went in there conscious, then as the car will float for a little bit, a while, and then obviously the front part's heaviest because that's got the engine in it, so that'll go down first. So as it sinks, the back end is going to have air. It's going to have air. It's going to have air for longer. Now, what's weird is that the back window was half open. So if she'd have been conscious and able to get herself out, she had a way out. She had a way out because there was a window that was open at the back. Now, whether she'd managed to get the window open and didn't have the strength to pull herself out, that's perfectly possible. Perfectly possible, which would be absolutely, utterly heartbreaking if she'd managed to, you know, fight her way to the back, get the window open. I mean, she's a small girl. It's not like she weighs like 400 pounds. She would have easily fit through that window, but perhaps she just did not have the strength and she succumbed before she was able to get out. Utterly heartbreaking. Or the alternative is that she was unconscious when that car went in. So if she was unconscious when that car went in, then obviously she had no chance. But why would the window be open? Thank you so much, Nikki, for becoming a YouTube member. You are now part of the secret agents. Join to be a secret agent. If a window was open, it would go down very quickly. They do. They go down incredibly quickly. They do. They do. They fill up very quickly. So it could well be that she managed to get that window open, but it was just too quick and she just didn't have the strength to just get out, you know, panicking. I mean, it was making me nervous. I'm scared of water. Right. Thank you, Peace with Denise, for becoming a secret agent. Thank you so much. Where are windows, power or manual? I don't know the answer to that, I'm afraid. Anonymous. Don't know the answer to that. Could someone else have rolled down the window to sink the car? Yes, they could. Thank you, Karen, for becoming a YouTube member. Got some new secret agents in. Robert's girl says they were power assisted. But if the right. So in my son's car, like the car I pay for, but it's my son's car, you can't open the windows if the engine's off. So you just press a button and the window goes down, and you press it the other way and it goes up. So if the engine's off, your windows ain't going anywhere. Not going anywhere. You can't get out, which is quite alarming. You know, in the old days, you used to have a little roller like this. Like it was hard. You used to roll your windows up and roll your windows down. You got a little bit of an arm workout with your rolly windows. I like them. I don't like this button. So if it's one of those where your window can't go anywhere if the engine's off, well, how long? Let's just say, right? Let's just say for a moment this was an accident and she accidentally drove into the lake. How long would that engine keep going once it was sinking? Right? Imagine that she got that back window open while the engine was still running. Right? How long would she have? She'd only have seconds, because that car would go straight down. Once that water starts coming in, go straight down. But the case for foul play is, did somebody intentionally wind that window down before that car went in that lake? And was Kiely unconscious and that car was sent into that lake with the window down to get it to sink as quickly as possible? Less than 30 seconds. I didn't want to say that, but I've heard exactly that. Yeah, it's very quick, right? Because if your windows are up, right, your car is going to float for a while, and then it's going to go slowly down. And if your windows are up, it's going to stay. It's going to take it longer, isn't it? Because it's not going to take in water. I mean, it will do eventually. But if there's a window open, then it's going to gush in. It's going to be a very quick deceleration. And perhaps the fact that it was kind of slightly on its side and the other window was broken, perhaps it went down quickly. This is just a massive speculation alert. But if the back window was already open and that car went down really quickly and it hit the bottom, that's busted out the other side window. In my opinion now, everything's back on the table, in my opinion. But somebody putting it in that lake after it had been cleared, how would they have done that, though? Because even though that lake had been cleared, like, they were still there, like searchers were still there every day, like in the area. So it'd have to be somebody who has took one hell of a risk to do that. One hell of a risk to do that. I see where you're going with it, because that's what a lot of criminals do, is they will plant the evidence or plant the body where they know has been cleared. And law enforcement made it clear, told everybody, told the world that they cleared Prosser Reservoir. They told the world, because that's why I said, well, she's not in the reservoir. She can't be in the reservoir. She's got to have been taken away from the party. She's got to have been abducted, because she's not in Prosser Reservoir, so she's not there. They told the world she wasn't there. So if somebody did want to take one hell of a risk and put her in the very place that they thought had been cleared, they didn't bank on the fact that Adventures with Purpose were going to go and dig it up again, or pull it up again. Thank you so much, Khaleesi Girl, for the £1.99. Is that? Yeah, pounds. And thank you so much, Cecile. It helps to bounce new theories together. It absolutely does. It absolutely does. So now, having spent, since Adventures with Purpose found her, thinking, I'm not going to rule out foul play, but I just think this is an accident. I just think this could very, very easily be an accident. Now I'm thinking, this could be an accident, and I'm not ruling that out. But this looks very much like foul play to me now. Especially if what this repairman said was true. It has to be foul play. If what that repairman said was true, and that Kiely was alive and well, either the Saturday morning or the Sunday morning, and she was with a guy she was not comfortable with, then that, I'm going to not quite bet my house, but I'd bet a considerable amount of money on that being foul play and that young gentleman being responsible. And then it brings in the possibility that that car was put in Prosser Reservoir after it was cleared. You guys, what fresh hell is this? What fresh hell is this? That poor girl. Her parents. No, Upchurch's theory. Come on. That's a nuts even for me. Look, I love conspiracies. You don't know this, but I love conspiracy theories. I'm into them all, right? But Kiely Rodni was real, right? It's not a psyop. Kiely Rodni was real, right? This isn't a game show or a movie, right? This is a real situation, which is either an unfortunate, terrible accident, or it's increasingly to me looking like she was murdered. But it's real. Whichever way, it's real. So no, Upchurch. I'm still going to continue to say Upchurch is crazy. Now, this is the other thing. That while Adventures with Purpose were there, they got some messages from Facebook groups and stuff that just at the party, before Kiely left, there was an argument, a disagreement, or something, words that were witnessed between Kiely and someone else. And someone else, who's that? Sammy? Someone after Sammy left? We don't know, right? And then a lot of people started to leave very quickly afterwards. Now, that's kind of taking us back to what was discussed in the week before Kiely was found. That, you know, Sammy's just left her, there was a fight, or Kiely had overdosed, and they had to kind of disappear very quickly, and a lot of them just left the party very quickly because they were scared, and they're refusing to talk because they're scared. Excuse me. And it kind of brings all that back. Now, if a lot of them left because something went down at the party, if the repair guy's right, though, Kiely did survive the party. If he's right, she did survive the party because she was alive and well the day or even 2 days after. So there's some conflict, there's some inconsistency there. Now, it could be absolutely the case that something went down at the party. Let's say Sammy and her argued, and Sammy left her there, and Sammy lied. Sammy lied and left her there. After which time she was upset, and then some guy came to her rescue, and essentially kidnapped her and took her to Boca, and took the opportunity to leave when everyone else was leaving. Thank you, Geraldine, for the €4.99 super sticker. Thank you, very kind. So who was Kiely with? A guy. No, we don't know anything about the guy. We don't know. He was. He really was. And I don't think that was kind of, putting it on for the camera to make it look like a movie set. He was genuinely disturbed. He really was genuinely disturbed. I mean, right, come on. Anybody would be disturbed seeing a young girl like lying in a vehicle at the bottom of a lake. That's going to upset anybody, but he really was. He really was. And he was like, this isn't right. Like they were like, this is not right, you know, something's gone down here. So, you know, they're used to seeing the results of accidents, aren't they? They're used to seeing, you know, somebody who's gone into a lake, you know, unfortunately, the car's accidentally been, for whatever reason, been driven into a lake. They're used to seeing that, aren't they? And the fact that they were disturbed by this, you know, her age notwithstanding, is an alarm to me. Is an alarm to me. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure either. I'm not sure either. That's why I'm saying he could be lying. But his story, at least, is one that's reasonably straightforward for law enforcement to check out. Surely. Because whatever company he works for, like we have AA in the UK or RAC, there's a few others, but, you know, so, you know, you join this, you pay so much per month or whatever, I don't know. And then if you break down, then you just ring the number that you're given and somebody comes and gets you. So presumably she was a member of a company, right? You know, she didn't just ring a random repair company, but she, you know, so their dispatch will have the phone number that call came from. They'll have, if Kiely was a member or her parents were a member, then they'd have a log of that vehicle, like that vehicle's make, model, license plate. They'd know what vehicle they'd been called out to. So that story is easy to check out. But what we don't know, obviously, because this is an open and active investigation, what we don't know is what the police think about this. So have the police already excluded the possibility that Kiely was alive and well that following day? Or have they confirmed his story and are looking for that guy? And he's suspect number one, but they don't know who he is. And he's ditched his phone, so I don't know. I don't know. I said she left with a guy, and then I changed my mind because I thought it's got to be an accident. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, the results of the autopsy will know whether she went in alive. You know, if she went in that lake alive, there'll be water in her lungs. If somebody killed her and then disposed of her afterwards, there will be no water in her lungs. Curveball. What if somebody drowned her and then put her in a vehicle and then put the vehicle in the lake? That would look like an accident. But that's maybe going a bit too far. So it's fresh hell. It's absolutely fresh hell. I know I'm way behind in the chat. I'm going to skip down to the bottom. I don't know about the bruises on Sammy. I've seen them, but they were doing Fight Club, weren't they? Like doing fights with boxing gloves. So she'd probably have bruises from that. So I'm not saying that the bruises aren't her fighting with Kiely, but I'm not alarmed by those bruises because they were playing Fight Club. We do need the autopsy, but how and when we're going to get it is another matter. No, Jagger wasn't there. Well, according to Jagger wasn't there. So how do we know? How do we know? Anything could be happening. Anything could have happened. Like everything's back on the table. Thank you, She-Hawk, for the $4.99. Tow truck driver said how weird she was acting. Yes. And maybe the day after the party. Yes. Maybe a scream for help. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for the $4.99, but exactly. Yeah, could have been. Not that I know of. Irish Rebel. Not that I know of. No. Now, whether they've told stories to the police is another matter. Exactly. How to take your car out of neutral and how to fasten your seatbelt. Yeah, yeah, there was a camera. There was a camera on his vehicle, but the question is, how much footage does that camera record? Or does that footage get recorded over? You know, they maybe only pull that footage if a problem occurs, or they want confirmation of something and it gets recorded over. I don't know whether that camera footage would be available to the police. So we don't know. We don't know that yet. Could this have been Kiely running from car and dragged back on topless? No, it was confirmed that was something else, and it wasn't even anywhere near the campground. That was confirmed not to be anything to do with this. What else can I tell you? Oh yeah, there's been some talk today certainly on Twitter and a little bit on Facebook that Kiely's mother had posted a Facebook post that the family had not been informed, or she'd not been informed or something, that she found out on social media. A waitress or something told her, because it had been seen on social media. So there was talk on Twitter saying that the Adventures with Purpose had not informed the family, and that's not true. That is not true, because what you see right at the end is Doug, you know, the one with the beard, Doug ringing her aunt, Kiely's aunt, who's the person he had the contact with, and then her grandma. So Kiely's aunt and her grandma were informed while Doug was still sitting on the boat. And then you saw them talking to Kiely's dad, Daniel, her bio dad, and her grandpa, who that heartbreaking photo of Kiely's grandpa sitting there watching over her. That breaks my heart, that photo. But you see Daniel, dad, walking away saying, I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this. So they were there. Adventures with Purpose were there speaking to dad and grandpa. So whatever you see on Twitter about the family not being informed is not true. Unless they've gone back and filmed footage. No. That was Kiely's grandpa and Kiely's dad at the side of the lake being spoken to by Adventures with Purpose. They were there. And dad walks away saying, I don't want to see this. Don't want to see this. And grandpa stays. So that is not true, whatever's been said on Twitter. Now, Kiely's mum wasn't mentioned. Thank you, Lady Fox, for the $5 Canadian. Were the tire tracks left at the point of entry? There were tire tracks all over, because people go down to the side of the lake. Like there's various ways you can get down, like, to the lake. You don't have to come down that steep part. What on earth was that? I think that one of the cats has knocked something off in the kitchen. You don't have to go down that steep part where that kind of little peninsula is. Like, people go down to the edge, like around that area, and do cookouts and things like that. Or people go and ride ATVs around there, like, for fun. So there's loads of tracks. So I don't think they'd be able to differentiate between one set of tracks and anyone else's set of tracks. Too many tracks. That's my opinion, but that's what I can kind of gather. There may have been tracks that were very clear, and if law enforcement had found them on that day and have waited, 2 weeks, whatever weeks it was, 2 weeks that Adventures with Purpose got there. By the time Adventures with Purpose got there were so many newer tracks, because people had been all around there. Like, the searchers had been all around there and everything. Like, they'd had swimmers and divers out there, and people going, taking themselves down there searching. So it wouldn't have been possible for Adventures with Purpose to find tracks, I don't think. They did. And given that they're used to handling cold cases, they're not detectives. They're not like victims advocates. They're used to diving for cold cases or vehicles, right? They're not used to, as far as I know, this is their first very, open, active investigation, and I thought they handled it really well. So Kiely's mother, maybe her mother wasn't informed, and maybe her mother is upset that she wasn't informed, but other members of the family were. So why didn't one of those people tell her? I don't know. I don't know what's with that. But anyway, it's not true that Adventures with Purpose did not speak to anybody from the family. They did. You would have thought so, yeah. You'd have thought so, yeah. But there's loads of cases where people are kidnapped. Where people are kidnapped and have multiple opportunities to get away, but are too scared to speak. And it might be like threats, like, I'll come back and kill your family, or, I'll come back and kill you, I'll come back and burn your house down, I know where you live. All of that stuff can be used. Once somebody's under, acute psychological trauma, they're not thinking straight. They're not going to think, no, you won't. Don't be ridiculous. Of course you won't, because you'll be in jail. Like, laugh in the face. You're not, because you're too scared. They've got you in a state of abject fear that you're not thinking rationally. So it's perfectly possible that she had an escape route, but because of trauma, she didn't take it. What else have we got? You can get the window down if the car is off, if you haven't opened the doors yet. I'll give that a try in my son's car. See where, because I'm sure you can't in my son's, but maybe you can in some. I don't know. The Angels with scuba gear. I think they're a little bit more high tech than scuba gear, but yeah, they are very, very good. Trixie Stars, my beautiful star-like mod. Please sub to them and show them love and support for all they do. There's their YouTube address. And please do, if you can afford it, please do make a donation to them so that they can carry on their work. Or go and join their membership if you're not already a member. You know, that's a way to donate to them. I don't drive at all. I don't drive at all. I can drive. I just choose not to drive because I'm a very, very, very dangerous driver. Very bad driver. I've no attention span whatsoever. None. Like, I'm so ADD, you wouldn't believe it. And when I'm in a car, even as a passenger, I'm like everywhere. Right, it's too much stimulation. So as a driver, I'm absolutely awful. I am dangerous. I've chosen to take myself off the road. So I don't drive. I've not driven for a long time. So I get, I pay for my son's car, and with the with the proviso that whenever I want to lift anywhere, however far it is, he's got to take me. But then again, he's never in, so you know. I know I'm not diagnosed. I've diagnosed myself because it's really hard to get diagnosed in the UK with ADD. But I'm just completely inattentive. I cannot focus on anything. I either have no focus or I'm hyper focused. I'm not like one or the like. It's like all or none at all. So mad respect. Yeah. So it was very, very good. So if you haven't seen it, then go and watch it. And obviously, if you're not a member and you don't want to join the membership, then you can wait until the 2nd and then see what you think. See what you think. There you go. I can't be bothered. It won't affect my life to get a diagnosis. So I'm not really bothered. Anyway, guys, I think I've told you just about as much as I could possibly tell you. I've ruined any form of surprise, but it's well worth a watch, and I strongly recommend that once you've all got access to it, that you go and watch it, because it was shocking to me. It was very, very revealing for me, really was. And it's almost like back to square one now. You know, me being almost convinced it was an accident, almost convinced. But now I'm really not convinced. I'm really not convinced. And I think there's something really strange went down. And I'm glad I didn't ruin it, Lewis. Something's really not adding up. Really not adding up. And so I'm going to get off here. And now that I've told you all what I think, I'm now going to go back and be on the replay crew of whoever else has been live when I've been live, to go and see what they've got to say about it, because they might like you know, people might have different ideas to me. So I might learn something, or I might think, I didn't think of that. So anyway, guys, enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your evening. It's nearly 7:30 in the evening for me. So I will go and enjoy the rest of my evening. And you go and do the same, guys. So thank you, Trixie Star, once again for modding for me. Thank you for the super chat, super stickers. Welcome to all the new members. Smash that like button. You know, it helps the algorithm. And yeah, I'll see you all very soon. Bye, guys.